Hello friends, this is Tapesh here and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel would totally focus on the videos related to Power Apps and Power Automate, and also some of the videos which would relate to Power BI as well, the whole Power Platform suite itself. So in this video, I would be showing you how you can create any data into XML format from Power Apps, and then you can export that data XML format to any server or any website or any database wherever you want. And yeah, that's it. So let's get started with the tutorial. First, we'll just go to the Power Apps portal, make powerapps.com, and then you can add the screen. I've just added the screen now. Initially, I'll just click on the label first so that we can just see the XML text. And that should be, I'll just give the name as XML label just to differentiate from different stuff and avoid any confusion. Here, I'll just add my XML code, a sample code which I have created. And you can see that in my blog post as well, which I'll be sharing you in the description link below. Because it's actually like very time consuming if I type and everything. So let's copy paste it. Okay, so you can see that there is a typo error now. I can see that when I try to copy paste the code itself from one editor to another one, Power Apps doesn't support this kind of commas or whatever, double inverted commas. So maybe we need to change those to the Power Apps format itself. So I'll just quickly change everything to a Power Apps understandable format. Now, okay, this is the thing. Okay, you can see that there is no error now, and if I just click here, I'll just click here. You can see that the whole XML file is ready. I'll just increase a little bit the font size to 20 so that you people can see it clearly, and I'll make it little bit extra, yeah, and I'll change the font color to be kind of a blue and a border color to one, border size to 1. All right, so this is kind of our XML code ready for us now. As you can see that I have entered, like I have created or added two double inverted commas over here. You can see that it's because if you want to add, if suppose you have a schema which says that you need a double inverted comma, which is compulsory, many of the schema formats do not support without any converted or without any commas. So it's a kind of a thing that you would must require when you're working with XML. In certain cases, you can use this type of string manipulation format. Else, if you want, you can just remove this and you can create something like this. You can add character 34 character. Sorry, and character 34. I can see if I want to concat all those string, I need to work on the manipulation part as well. So just to manipulate, okay, just remove this now. Still we have an error, I don't know. Okay. Okay, it seems like I need to concat these two, so it should be 1.0. Yeah, that's ready now. You can see that there is no typo error, no typing error, and the format itself is the same. Okay, so now next thing is to create a collection because if you have already a data, you can use that data. If you do not have any other data, you can create a collection along with me. And then let's add a button to create a collection now. So this button, I'll just name it as, sorry, I'll just name it as XML, not limit. We'll just go with collection so that I know what exactly it's doing. Call collection button. Yeah, that's done. And now I'll just add a gallery. Before adding a gallery, what I'll do, I'll just create a collection so that it would be very easy for the understanding of how we can get the data inside the gallery. So I'll just add a collection over here, which I've already created, and I'll just copy paste the whole source code, and I'll share the whole file as well. As I said that you can check it on my blog itself. You'll have a whole source code. You can, now there is the same error. We need to go along and change everything one by one. Uh, it's a bit kind of a hectic. I should have done it earlier. Seems like pretty much ready. We are ready to create a collection now. So let's do not waste the time and create a collection. I'll just quickly go and create a collection. The collection is ready. So to see the collection, I'll just add a vertical gallery, and yeah, and I'll change, that's fine. So data source, I'll just change to my temporary collection. As you can see, I have certain things over there, but it's not in a proper format. So I'll just quickly format the gallery itself with the respective details. So first would be, let's say this should be the name of my item. Okay, and just go with this one. This should be the image. This item dot image. Description is correct. As I can see that I don't have price and calories, so I'll just quickly add two labels, one over here, and this should be calories. To make it look better, I'll just add a calories. Okay, so now it seems like it's okay to see. It's kind of readable. I'll change this to price. Semi-bold, semi-bold. Yeah, and the font to be this one. This should be red so that it's very catchy enough. Okay, seems like okay, good. We'll just quickly make this 50, border radius to 50, and fill. Yeah. So here we have all the collection ready. We just need to add data dynamically to, so that this schema, which you are looking at, this XML stuff, it should change automatically when I'm selecting any item in the gallery. So initially, if you see that while I'm selecting something, the schema itself is not changing at all. So what I'll do, I will just add certain things. So before that, we need to change certain labels like this one so that it's better for the understanding when we add any kind of data. So this should be gal image, gal name. This should be gal description, better. And this should be calories, gal price. This should be gal breakfast. Or let's give it a menu, gallery menu. That's a better naming convention, I would say. Yeah. So we have everything ready now. All that we need to do is we need to make a connection to this one so that we can uh, add this data dynamically. So let's quickly move on to the label text itself and remove this Belgian waffles, and we'll add what we have, gal name. So yeah, if you want to use that thing, so we have to concat the strings, both of the strings. To concat the strings, um, convert it as double comma, and then what we call ampersand sign, and then whatever your name. So my name is gal. My name here should be, sorry, my not my name, my mistake. It should be gal name, yeah, dot text, and we need to even close this. So ampersand sign, and again the comma, or double inverted comma. So yeah, we have this ready now. We'll go with the same thing. So it should be something like this. And this one, so in between this, we'll go with gal price dot text. This should be gal, sorry, it should be description dot text, and it needs to be gal, and here it should be calories. Okay, as you can see, I have not added the image over here. It's because we need to convert that image into base 64 file, and then that would give us a binary digit data, and that is going to be a very long and lengthy process to, and your Power Apps, especially this label text, it won't support that thousand and millions of codes like binary digits. It will start responding in a way that it will get hang or something like that, and that's the reason why I didn't include it. But in near future, I'll definitely, my next video will be totally focusing on how we can convert the any file from image, PDF, or whatever it is to binary, and then we can upload and send it to wherever, and we can add it to XML or JSON format, whatever it is. You can use it wherever you want. But for this video, I'll just focus on how we can quickly add the data to XML, create an XML file. So now we have that thing ready. We'll just quickly go. Now you can see that when I change the details, it automatically selected the very first item in the gallery itself, because that's a by default selection, which I would say. Now, if I am changing it, you'll see that the data should change. Yeah, it's changing properly with the different details. One, and yeah, it's changing with the different details. So the next thing would be to create a to add a schema and create a gallery, like to select all items and then create a dynamic schema itself. So for that, I have already a schema which I've took it from Google itself, and if you want, you can go to one of the any of the XML website, or it's better to go to W3 schools itself, and you can find a lots of schema over there. Or if you have one provided by your company or somebody else, you can use that schema and you can validate against it. So here I already have a schema, and I'll just try to use that schema to compare that to my XML, and I'll create an XML file, which I already did, and I'll quickly add those details to my schema, my button selection just below the collection which I've created. Mm, So again, the typo is everywhere. So there is something which I'm missing, which what for all breakfast gallery. Yeah, the name of the breakfast gallery is totally different over here. So that's the thing which we are missing. Cal menu items. Now that should work totally fine. The naming of all this should totally be different from. So let's change this. So it should be gal name. Right. So we have this thing. So what this is doing actually, we are just creating a collection, okay, for all the items which are present in the gallery, and we are adding that to a dynamically. We are adding that all those items to an XML schema which we have created, which will create the items in a row for us based on the schema. And then if you here you can see that I have added this item ID as an extra field or extra row over here, or a column, I would say, not a row, by mistake, as a column. It's just because based on the schema. I'll just show you and share the schema quickly. I'll just add the new screen blank, and then I'll show you the schema itself, how does it look, so that you will definitely understand what I'm trying to achieve or do. Okay, and this is a text. Okay, let's typo again. What's that? Okay, okay. Let's quickly fix this thing. Add one, one. So you might have a different schema. This is an example. You might have a different schema in real terms, where you will have a company's name or namespace, no namespace, or something like that. So if those are the things, you'll have to use some kind of concat or concatenate functions, which I'll show you quickly in next few minutes how you can use that thing when it's necessary. Okay, the schema is ready now. I'll just show the schema. How does it look like? So this should be hidden to the scroll. And yeah, let's make it bold so that you can read the schema carefully. Yeah, so this is how the schema is for me, which I've just took it from a website which is W3org, and then I have just tried to create a same XML format based on this schema, whatever which was given to me. So you can see that here the string we have four string actually, which is name, price, description, calories, and the one is a float number. So you might have integer or something like that. So item number over here, I don't know why, but they have given it float, so I just took it. I just added the way it was. And then you can see this that these fields are mandatory fields, which name is equal to code. Even this field is mandatory to over here, the type, name, and all those things. These are mandatory fields which we need to include in that schema. So you might have certain similar things in your schema as well, based on whatever the requirements given by your company. So quickly, okay. So let's go and see what we have from that. So here you can see that that's the item ID, which I have already added based on the schema. And the item ID is whatever the collection items I'll be selecting or anyone would be selecting present in my gallery would automatically be given a specific ID number based on items present, and that would be in some way that count rows collection. So count rows will count the collection items, how many items present, and to represent that, I can use a text function. So I'll just use a text function which will directly give me a number of items present in that. So now you can see there are zero because it will always show you the first item present in the collection itself. So now when I go and okay, create a collection. So I have a collection. I'll just quickly, mm, minimize this and add a new label. So I can show you what ways you can get this data into string. So this is the thing. Now here you have to make sure that if you want to show certain things into text format or a string format, make sure that you use certain kind of concat or concatenate function, as I said earlier. Without that, you cannot achieve or you cannot convert anything into string, and you cannot send that data or create a file as a XML. So to do that, you have to use those kind of functions. Here, I'll just show you how I use that. So that's the thing. Okay, again the same thing. My mistake. I should have done this earlier. As you can see, while I was working on this, there is something you can read clearly which says that concat. So I have used that concat function to manipulate the string, the collection, which I can show as a string. So here, um, yeah. So you can see that this concat function, I have used that table, the collection table which I have created, and then expression, I took it expression as a value itself. So if you want to see something, this is a collection. So when you go and just type in whatever the collection is, so if you have something kind of XML data, it will directly pop up over here. If not, then I just have one column itself which holds my all the values. So I'll just go and quickly select the value itself and what way I want to separate it. So I'll just use a blank double inverted comma which won't have any space. So that will create a normal string for me. Uh, and the value you can see that I have a table which is having one column and holding all these values itself. So now when I close these and see, you can check on, I'll hide this for a moment so that it's clearly visible to you guys. And then increase small. Okay, that's great. Increase the font size to say 18. 18 is good. Yeah, that should be good. And scroll. Okay. Now you can see when I've created a collection, uh, on that collection, I have all this data added dynamically over here. You can see that I have this text menu and whatever it is. But the only thing which is something weird to me, I can see that the text format over here. I don't know why, but let's quickly go back to the gallery selection and see. Sorry, label text. Okay, yeah. Here there is an extra text which I don't want. Now if I go and check, yeah. So this is based on the schema itself. So you see that this is item number one, this is item number two, this is three, and so on. You can even see that based on my requirement and the schema, I have certain things which says that this data is only for this code, for this hotel name, whatever the type is, and this hotel name which is Hilton. And we all know that array starts from zero, so the initial value will be zero. If you want to manipulate that, you can do so by using again the new collection and then use that text function. You can do so those things, but and in that way you can manipulate this uh, 0 1 2 3 if you want to make the string to start by 1 instead of 0. So yeah, this is a schema ready for us based on, sorry, this is an XML format ready for us based on the schema which I showed you over here. So now if you want to validate that schema, we will just go and quickly check if the schema is validated or like valid schema or not. Okay, so now you can see over here that I am on that link which I told you, free formatter, and then you can see that I just have to copy paste the XML document, whatever the XML schema is, which I already have copied. So what I'll do, I'll just paste it here. So that's an XML, yeah, and the schema, the one which was there. Now I'll validate. Okay, it's a good news. So the thing is, like, you can see that the document is valid itself now. So we'll quickly go back to the screen itself, and then we'll start creating a flow. The next step where we can create a file. So now when we have the XML validated successfully against the schema, so let's start creating a flow where we'll take an data or input from Power Apps, whatever the data you want to convert into XML, and then save it as an XML file and store it into the database. As a data source, I have used here a OneDrive data source, but if you want, you can use any of the data source, whether it's AWS, Azure data source, or XYZ, whatever it is. Quickly, I'll just select first, I'll select Instant Cloud Flow, and then I'll go to the trigger, which is Power Apps, because we obviously want to trigger it from the Power App itself when the button is selected or whatever the item is selected, and name it as XML flow. Yeah, just leave it XML. We have the trigger ready. Now, next thing is to create or initialize. I would say initialize a variable, because we want to convert, no matter what the data is from the Power Apps, we want to convert that into the string format so that XML can read that and we can get a string format itself. And then the type should be string, name XML file, and the value will take this value from the Power App itself. Now, when we initialize the variable, we'll go and create a file with this variable. So I'll go and create a file in my OneDrive for Business, create a file, add to, mm, not root, okay, to the documents. That's okay. And the file should be sorry, paste XML file dot XML. Remember that whenever you want to save any file type after the conversion, make sure that you what file format do you want to save it as. So here I want to make this file to be saved as XML. So I'll just give that extension name as .xml, and then I'll take the file content from variable, whatever the variable I have converted, or while I have initialized, not converted actually, which I have initialized, and I'll just save it. Okay, so it's ready to use now. What I'll do, I'll just see if the flow is successfully created or not. Okay, and it's turned on also. So without any waste of time, I'll just go back to my Power Apps, and then create uh, I'll create a connection which will trigger a flow to run. So now we are back on the Power App screen. I have just added a button. You can select and add a button from wherever, from the toolbar itself, and name it as whatever you want. I have named it as export as XML. And then on select of that property, I'll go and I'll add a connection of, sorry, I'll add a connection to Power Automate. And my, yeah, that's the XML. XML is my flow name. So I'll just add that. Once we have established the flow connection, So we'll just initialize the variable value, as you can see at the very top, that we need to initialize certain value. And remember that we use this as a text file, the label. So what we need to do is we'll just use this text and we'll provide the same text input to a flow value to initialize variable value, which would be XML export XML dot text. So we have given this input to the flow, and now what we need to do is we just need to run this flow and check if the file is converted and created successfully or not. I can see that there is no error, uh, and then I'll just go back to the XML file folder and I'll see if the file is created successfully. Okay, so I can see that here while I was checking on my flow run successfully. So this, yeah, I can see that the flow run has been triggered successfully before few seconds ago. We created a file. Okay, yeah, so it's been triggered by PowerApps with the XYZ input. Initialize the variable, which is this, and we have given it as a type string, so it converted all the values into string, and then we created that file into our um, what we call OneDrive. So let's check that. So guys, you can see that we have successfully created an XML file. I'll just quickly see that it's been created properly or not. Yeah. So I can see that, yeah, it's actually created properly and it's a valid XML. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll come back to you with some more exciting videos related on Power Apps and Power Automate. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any other problems related to this video or tutorial, uh, please comment below in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks.